morning, boys and girls. We're working with this letter this week. Do you remember what letter this is? This is the letter X, okay? And the X goes slant down, it crosses in the middle, and the lowercase one does the same thing, okay? Now, usually the letter X makes that X sound like at the end of fox and box, but sometimes the letter X sounds like the letter Z, the Z sound, like in xylophone. This is a xylophone. It's a musical instrument, and it has these two little sticks, and when you hit one of the different colors, it'll make a different sound. This is a xylophone. Some of you might have a toy xylophone at home. So this is the letter X. Now let's go over all of our other letters that we've learned. You remember this one? This is W. We have our capital and lowercase w. The W makes the W sound, like wagon and window and weather and walrus. And what about that one? You remember that letter? This is the letter V. Capital and lowercase v. The V makes the V sound, like in violin and victor and vulture and valentine. And how about that one? This is our letter A. We have our capital A, like in Ava, and our lowercase a, like in apple, an astronaut, an alligator. Hey, how about that one? This is the letter J. We have our capital J for Jason and Jesus, and our lowercase j. It makes the J sound, like jam and jar and jelly. What about that one? This is the letter U. We have our capital U and our lowercase u. The U has the sound like in umbrella, and the U sound like in unicorn. Here is the letter T. Here we have our capital T and our lowercase t. The T makes the T sound, like television and toothpaste and tiger. How about that one? Remember this letter? This is the letter C. We have our capital C and our lowercase c. The letter C makes the K sound, like cake and candy and corn and carrots. What about that one? Do you remember this letter? This is our letter B. We have our capital B for Benjamin, and our lowercase b makes the B sound, like bus and baby and ball and butterfly. What about that one? This is the letter E. We have our capital E for Evelyn and Esme. We have our lowercase e. The E has the S sound, like egg, an elephant, an elevator, and makes the E sound like eagle and Easter. What about this one? This is the letter O. We have our capital O and our lowercase o. Makes the A sound like an octopus, or the O sound like in ocean. Remember this letter? This is our letter D. We have our capital D and our lowercase d. The letter D makes the D sound, like duck and dog and dinosaur and daddy. And what about this letter? Okay, this is our capital P, like in Penelope Pig, and our lowercase p makes the P sound, like panda and popcorn and Procop and puppy. Okay, what about that letter? This is our letter F. We have our capital F, our lowercase f. It makes the F sound, like fish and fingers and feathers and French fries. And this one is the letter I. We have our capital I for Ivana and Ignore, and our lowercase I. The I makes the is sound, like in iguana and Ivana, and inside it makes the I sound like ice cream and ice skates. And that one is, what letter is this? This is the letter G. We have our capital G for God, and our lowercase g. It makes the G sound, like God and goat and girl. And what about that letter? Remember this letter? This is our letter S. We have our capital S and our lowercase s. It makes the S sound, like sandwich and soup and sneakers. What about that one? This is our letter H. We have our capital H, our lowercase h. The H makes this sound, like in house and happy and heart and hallelujah. what letter? Our letter L. We have our capital L, our lowercase l. The L makes a O sound like lion and ladybug and lucky. And what about that one? This is our letter Q. We have our capital Q, our lowercase q. The Q makes the qu sound like quilt and queen and quiet. And here is our letter M. We have our capital M for Mother Mary. We talked about her yesterday. And our lowercase m makes the sound like mitten and mommy and monkeys and marshmallows. And what about that one? This is our letter K. We have our capital K. Our lowercase k makes the k sound like in kite and kangaroo and kiss. And what about that one? This is the letter R. We have our capital R. Our lowercase r makes the sound like rope and run and rhinoceros. What about that one? This is the letter N. We have our capital N for Nico and Nicolette and Noto. And we have our lowercase n. Makes the sound like nest and nose and necklace. Okay, and here we are back again with our, what letter is it? The letter X. Okay, now we said that sometimes the letter X is at the end, usually like at the end of fox. We hear that X sound at the end. Sometimes we can have the X at the beginning, like in X-ray. And once in a while, the letter X will make that Z sound, like in xylophone. And today we're going to be doing something with a xylophone and the letter X. Okay, now remember, when we make the letter X, what we do is we just slant down, slant to the right, and slant to the left. That's our capital X, and the lowercase one does the same thing, only smaller. Slant to the right, slant to the left, and you cross right in the middle. So what we're going to do on this paper is the first thing we're going to do is going to take our black crayon, and we're going to trace the letter X on the bottom here. Okay, that's the first thing we're going to do. So let's start at the top, and we're going to trace down, pick up our crayon, go to the top, and trace down again. All right, let's do the lowercase one that starts in the middle here. Slant down, slant down. Okay, there's our letter X. Let's make another capital X. Slant down, slant down. Okay, let's do our lowercase x. Starts at the dotted line. Slant down, slant down. Okay, make sure you're looking at your paper. Let's do the next one. What letter is it? The letter X. Slant down, slant down. And do our lowercase one the same way. Slant down, slant down. Okay, and one more set. You ready? Start at the top, slant to the right, go to the top, slant to the left, and we'll do our lowercase one the same way. Okay, now we said we're going to do a xylophone. Okay, now what we have here is we have the different bars on the xylophone, and on a xylophone, each time you hit one of these, it would make a different sound. Okay, so this is the picture of the xylophone here. So these little sticks, each time you would take the stick and you would hit one of those little bars, it would make a different musical sound. Okay, so what we're going to do right now, first we're going to trace the boxes on the xylophone. Remember what shape these are? Yeah, those are rectangles. Remember, rectangles have two short sides and two long sides. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rectangles. And we're going to trace the rectangles with our black crayon. Now again, where should we be looking? At our paper, okay? We don't want to be looking out the window. We don't want to be looking at the ceiling. We don't want to be looking at our shoes or our dog. We need to look at our paper so we can stay right on the lines, okay? Very carefully, we're going to start on the left, and we're going to trace very, very carefully. Looking at your paper, go right on the dotted lines, okay? Very, very, very carefully. We're going to trace all of these rectangles right on the dotted line, And then we're going to do something else. Okay? Very, very carefully. All right, go right on the dotted lines again. We'll trace down. Okay, and you can go across the top, go across the bottom, and come down the side. Okay, that's 1, 2. Let's do the next one. Right on the top, go straight down the side. Remember, look at your paper, take your time. You want to be able to stay right on your dotted lines. Okay, you don't want to rush. And we'll do the next one the same way. Go across the top, pull straight down, pull straight down, and across the bottom. And we'll trace one more. Okay? It's good to practice tracing once in a while. Okay, so now we traced our xylophone, but now what we're going to do is we're going to make it all pretty colors like this one here. All right, so I sent you this paper, and we have the different colors of the xylophone. So what we're going to do is we're going to very carefully cut these out. Okay, very, very carefully we're going to cut these out. So what I want you to do is take your scissors. Remember, the thumb goes in the little hole on the top. Your other fingers go in the big hole on the bottom. Remember, all you're doing is lifting up your thumb. Up, down, up, down, up, down. We're going to hold our paper with our helping hand, and we're going to cut around the black lines. Okay, so very, very carefully. Take your time. Go nice and slowly and carefully. Turn your paper with your helping hand. Very carefully. Cut right by that black line. You can go off the edge of your paper because it probably makes it easier. Okay, and then we're going to cut around the rest of your shape here. Okay, what shape are these? Rectangles. Okay, what color is this one? That's a blue one. Okay, so that's our big one. We're going to cut right there on that black line. Okay, and we'll just put this on the side for a minute, and we'll cut out our others the same way. And very carefully. Go right on that black line. Okay, you can turn your paper. Look at what you're cutting, okay? Remember, you don't want to chop it apart. And you certainly don't want to cut your fingers. So be very, very careful when you're cutting. Okay, cut right by that black line. Okay, put that one on the side. And let's do our next one the same way. Take your time. Okay, you never want to rush when you're cutting. You always want to do your very best. And take your time. Okay. And we'll put that one on the side. And we'll cut some more. Okay. Now, if you want to just turn your paper, that's fine. You can do that, whichever way is easier for you. If it's easier for you to go off the edge of the paper, you can go off the edge, or if you want to turn it, you can turn it. Okay? So we have that one, and we have one more box that we're going to cut, one more rectangle. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to match the sizes and put them in here like a puzzle so we can make our own little paper xylophone. All right, let's look at this one here. Okay, this is our biggest one. That's our biggest one. Look at all your colors and find the biggest one that you can find, okay? What color did you find? The blue one, okay? Now this one, is it going to go over there? No, it's going to go over here. Okay, you want to match the size. So it's going to go right in there. So we're going to take our glue, and you can either put the glue on the back of your rectangle, or you could put it inside the big space, either way, okay? But we're going to put the glue, and then we're going to fit this in just like a puzzle, okay? So let's put it in, and you want to line it up and fit it inside the lines that we traced. Okay, so there is our blue. Okay, and what color do you think is going to come over here? Let's look at the different colors and the different sizes. You want to find the one that's going to be there. Okay, and the next biggest size would be the green one. Does that fit in there? Yes. Okay, so we're going to put the glue on this one, and we'll do the same thing. So you put the glue, like I said, you could either put it on the back, or you could put it in here if you want to do it that way too, that's fine. And you're going to fit it in like a puzzle. Okay, and press on it real good. Okay, so we have blue and green, and look at your other ones and find the next biggest one, and that would be this color. What color is that? Yellow. Good. Okay, so we'll put our yellow on here. Spread your glue around. Make sure you go to the edges so it sticks. And press that one on. Okay, press it on real good. And let's find the next one. What's the next biggest one? This one here. What color is that? Orange. Good. Spread your glue. Put it on. And then our last one would be this one here, our red one. Okay, put your red one on. Okay, and fit that one in there. There. Okay, so what did we make? We made a xylophone. And xylophone begins with what letter? X. So X is for xylophone. Good job.